Hello and welcome to the CupcakeJemma channel with me, Jemma. Now, a few weeks ago, I gave you my recipe for jammy donuts, an absolute classic, and just as I suspected, you guys loved it. And actually, quite a few of you have made them, and I know that because you've been posting your pictures on Instagram using the hashtag CupcakeJemma, which we love because it means we get to see you guys baking and being really proud of yourselves, and we just love seeing it, so keep on doing that. Now, in that video, I asked you if you would like some other filling options, and of course no one said no. Why on earth would you? It was a unanimous yes. So I've gathered my wonderful team, little Dane and little Sally. You're actually not that little.
I'm actually the tallest.
We're probably the same size.
Yeah.
And we have got some brilliant recipes for you guys. Dane, what have you got today?
I am going to be making a milk chocolate and passion fruit donut. So it's got a really rich, creamy, but light milk chocolate creme diplomat and a passion fruit curd, which is super tangy. And then I'm going to be coating the donut in passion fruit sugar. And then it's got a milk chocolate and passion fruit bark on top.
Oh, that does sound good.
Crikey. A true Dane Pemberton.
Like a million things going there. Classic. What about you, Dales? Hopefully it's a bit more simple than that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing a lime and hibiscus donut today. Yeah, with a lime curd and then a beautiful hibiscus glaze. It's going to be like bright green and bright pink. They're going to be so cute. I did try, you know. I wish it was a little bit more limey, but that's fine. It's not about my nails today, it's about donuts. Yeah, it's going to be delish.
Well, they both do sound delicious, but I'm very excited about my donut because I am going to be making a kind of creme brulee donut, but the brulee is a cheats brulee, sort of, and also the filling is salted caramel, so not just your average brulee. It's going to be delicious. So there's lots and lots of recipes to be getting on with, and don't forget you can sign up to our Patreon at patreon.com/CupcakeJemma to join our bake club, so you'll be able to download all the recipes there. There'll be printable, downloadable jobbies with photos and everything, so head over there to join up.
Yay, it's fun too.
Yeah, it is lots of fun. So, without further ado, hop it, you guys. You get on with your bit, you get on with your bit, I'm going to get on with my bit.
Alrighty.
Leave you to it.
See you in a moment.
So I'm going to start by making my Salted Caramel Creme Patisserie. So if you're not sure what that is, it's pastry cream. It's basically like an uber custard, and it's quite often used as a filling in donuts, but I'm going to salted caramelize it because I don't see why you wouldn't do that if you can. So the starting of that, I'm going to make a dry caramel. So I've got my sugar here and a saucepan. I'm going to pop that in and set that over a kind of medium-low heat. You don't want to go too high to start with because you don't want to like burn it before it gets a chance to melt, if you see what I mean. So let that do its thing, and that will take a little while. Meanwhile, I'm going to crack my egg. So I'm going to use a whole egg and also 3 egg yolks. And I've also got some corn flour as well, which is going to help to thicken the custard. And that just needs to be whisked together. Not trying to make it light and fluffy or anything, just trying to get it a bit paler in colour. So unlike wet caramel, dry caramel can take a little bit of stirring, and actually you'll kind of need to do that. So when it starts to liquefy at the edges and turn sort of amber at the edges, you want to bring those edges into the middle with a spoon, just so that it heats nice and evenly. And then when it reaches a lovely, lovely amber colour, we will add some cream. Not yet though. All right, this is looking lovely and rich. So I've turned the heat off, and now I'm going to add some double cream. And you want to do this in small bursts, stirring each time. So you want to be very careful. Don't add the whole lot in one go. Otherwise, what you'll end up with is a really seized up blob of caramel, which will take ages to dissolve. So just go a little bit at a time, stirring all the time with your spoon. And as you can see, it does steam up a lot. So make sure you've got a nice long spoon. That's all my cream in. Now I'm also going to add some milk, but to the milk I'm going to add vanilla and salt. So I've got some good quality vanilla extract here. Whack that in. That's quite a lot, but it needs to be vanilla-y because it's custard. And a teaspoon of salt. Just whisk that all together. And then that can go into the cream mixture as well. Again, do it slowly just so it doesn't get a shock and seize up. If it does do that, don't worry, just keep it on a low heat and keep stirring it and it will dissolve eventually, but if you do it this way nice and slowly, you should avoid that. All my milk is in, so it's this lovely, beautiful caramel colour. It smells really good, but obviously this isn't going to be filling a donut because it's a little bit too liquidy. So whack that heat back on to sort of a medium-low heat, and we want to get that until it's starting to steam. You don't want to boil it, you just want to get it like pre-boil. I've got a little jug here. I'm just going to take some out of there and whisk it into my egg mixture because you don't want to shock the eggs. This is basically tempering the eggs. Just do one more just to even up the temperatures a little bit more. And now you can pour that egg mixture back into the milky mixture. And then this needs to now be heated because it's still not thick enough to fill a donut, guys. So heat back onto medium. There's a lot of heating going on. And just all the time stirring it. You don't want it to catch on the bottom. You want it to thicken up nice and evenly. And when it's thick enough, it will coat the back of a spoon. Oh, that's looking lovely and thick. So I'm just going to add a little bit of butter. Get in there. And just stir that all around until it's evenly melted through. That's just going to give your creme pat a nice sort of glossy finish. And when that's all melted, you can put it through a sieve. Just to get rid of any kind of eggy bits or lumps that may have occurred or, you know, any foreign bodies that have got in there by accident. Yum. Oh, I could actually just eat this with a spoon. Don't tell anyone. Well, I mean, you can if you want. I don't really mind. I don't mind who knows my secrets. So this is all ready, but it does need to be cooled down, and it's really important to cling film it, but cling film it up to the surface of the custard. Otherwise, what you'll end up with is a nasty skin. Actually, some people do like the skin, but it's not really good for filling donuts. Speaking of donuts, here they are. Now, I came in super early today and I fried these all off, and they are looking delightful and golden. If you want to know how to make donuts from scratch, yeast-raised fried donuts, including the rolling out, the chumping, the frying, then head over to the link in the description box below to see my video on how to do that. So that's going to cool down. Now, I obviously told you I was going to make a brulee, what's it called? Donut. Almost called them cupcake then, because I've got cupcakes on the brain. But I'm actually going to be cheating my brulee because I did try doing a brulee with like sugar and a blowtorch, and I just kept on ending up sort of setting the donuts on fire a little bit, and it was a messy, messy affair. So I'm actually going to be doing a sort of cheats version so that they look nice, because you want them to look nice, right? You don't want them to look like they've been set on fire with a blowtorch. So I'm going to make a wet caramel, which I'm then going to dip my donuts into to form a sort of delightful brulee crack top. So I have 300 grams of caster sugar again in a saucepan. I'm going to add 7 or 8 tablespoons of water to that. And I'm going to get it going and sort of make it caramel, come to a sort of amber colour, and while that's happening, these guys are going to be getting on with their fillings. I think someone's setting up over there. Who could it be? Will it be Dane or Sally? Nobody knows. Actually, we know. I think it's Dane. Yeah, it's Dane.
Thanks, Jemma. Well, I am going to start making my 2 fillings, which I've got my milk chocolate creme pat, which I made by putting 150 millilitres of whole milk into a small saucepan over a medium heat. I'll leave that to simmer, and in another bowl, I'll crack 1 egg, and we just need the yolk from this, half a teaspoon of caster sugar, some corn flour, and a little bit of salt. Give it a whisk until it's nice and pale and thick. By this time, the milk should have come to a simmer. So I'm going to take this off of the heat, pour it over the egg mixture, give it a whisk, and then I'll pour it back in the pan, get it back on the heat, and keep whisking until it's a nice, thick mixture. I'll add my milk chocolate to this. It will melt pretty much instantaneously, and then we'll pour it into a bowl and cover it with some cling film directly so it doesn't form a skin. And it should look something like this. This has been in the fridge for about an hour, and it's nice and set. So I'm going to take the cling film off, discard this to the side, and then what I'm going to do, we're going to turn this into creme diplomat. So what that means is it's got whipped cream through it. So I'm going to weigh this amount of creme pat that I've got. Look at that. I'm going to wipe the floor with Jemma's donuts. Some people think this isn't a competition so far, but listen up, y'all. I'm going to win. this is my competition here, and this flavour combo is to die for. So I've got 245 grams of my creme pat here. I'm going to weigh out half the amount of cream that my creme pat weighs. So I've got 120 grams of cream in this bowl, which I'm going to whip by hand until it's soft peaks. That literally took about 30 seconds. Why? Because I'm super quick. No, it's just a really small amount of cream, and it was super cold. When you're whipping cream by hand, it's always helpful to have it really nice and chill. So I'm just going to put my cream straight into my milk chocolate creme pat, and then I'm just going to use my whisk to just whisk it all together. And this will create a really nice, light milk chocolate filling for our donuts. And I love Creme Diplomat because it's not as rich as creme pat, kind of lightens it up, and it's nice and fluffy as well. So we'll take the whisk out, give this a little mix round, and this is what it should look like. Nice and silky, light. Can't wait to fill the donuts with this. Next up is my second filling, which is passionfruit curd, and I've got 3 egg yolks already separated in a bowl here, to which I'm going to add 1 whole egg, and then 55 grams of passionfruit puree, 55 grams of caster sugar, and I'm going to whisk this together and put it on a saucepan over a medium heat with a little bit of water in the bottom, and whisk it until it starts to cook. So I've cooked this for about 5 minutes until it's reached ribbon stage. It's nice and thick. And now I'm going to add some butter to this, give it a whisk through until it's melted and it's nice and glossy and shiny. And then we'll pass it through a sieve so it's nice and smooth. And that's why we sieve it, just to discard all these cooked bits of eggs that we don't want in there. So we'll pop this to the side to cool down, and we'll get on with making the chocolate bark, which I made by melting some milk chocolate in a bowl in the microwave. I reserved some of the chocolate chips to add in and kind of cheats temper the chocolate, vigorously stirred that in until it was all melted. I poured it on a flat baking tray, lined with some greaseproof paper, spread it out, and then I added my passion fruit crunch nuggets. And that is the chocolate bark made. I put it in the fridge for about 10 minutes just till it was set. And now we can snap bits off. There we go. Just the simple pleasures of some chocolate and passion fruit crunchy bits. Now the last thing to make is the passion fruit sugar, which is going to coat the donuts, and it's just some passion fruit freeze-dried powder here, which is going into some caster sugar, and just give it a little mix around. And that is that. This is looking and smelling great already. Now Sally, what you got going on over there?
Saving the best to last, obviously, with my lime and hibiscus donut. Now my filling is going to be a lime curd, and it's basically exactly the same as Dane's passion fruit curd, but obviously not passion fruit. Instead, I've added 110 mils of lime juice, which is freshly squeezed, obviously, and the zest of 2 limes. Now I've got it to the same kind of thick ribbon stage over the bain-marie, exactly like Dane did, and then I'm going to chuck in my butter, and that is going to make it super duper creamy, but it's also going to help to cool this down so that it doesn't continue to cook and scramble, because I know a lot of people get kind of scared when making curd that it's going to scramble, but don't worry about it, because what we're going to do next is we're going to sift it. Now that's going to get rid of like the kind of little lumps of cooked egg, as well as any bits of zest. So if you are making lemon or lime curd, you might get bits of zest in there. And we don't want that. We want it to be smooth, so we're going to strain it through a sieve. And now, I really want this to pop. And though it is like a beautiful bright yellow right now, I want it to be green. I want it to be a gorgeous green. So I've got a little bit of paste food coloring here. And I'm going to add a bit at a time, just to, oh yeah, look at that. This is going to look so cool because the top of my donut is going to have a hibiscus glaze, which we are going to get on and make now. Just stir this through. There you can see it's looking way more limey now. And that is exactly how I want it. So that's just going to go to one side, and we're going to let that cool down whilst we get on with our hibiscus glaze. Now for this, we're going to need some hibiscus water, which I've made earlier because we needed to let it kind of do its thing and also cool down, and it's in here. And you can't really see in this bottle just how beautiful it is, but I made this really easily by putting 25 grams of dried hibiscus flower with 250 mils of cold water into a saucepan over a medium heat. I brought it to the boil and then dropped it to a simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. And then I strained it and then I left it to cool down completely. And I put it in this cute little bottle. And it smells incredible. It's kind of quite tangy. It's a little bit like cranberry, slightly floral too, because it is a flower. It's like, I don't know if it is actually Mexican or if they just use it in Mexico. It's like used a lot in like cold drinks like agua fresca, which is why I thought it would be perfect with my lime curd filling. So for the glaze, I've got about 235 grams of icing sugar in here, which I've sifted. And I'm gonna say like 50 mils of this amazing hibiscus water, but we're kind of more looking at texture and consistency here. So I think I'll go about that much. Oh my God, look, I mean, it's just gonna get everywhere, but it's so gorgeous. And we're gonna start whisking this together. Lastly, we're just gonna add in about a tablespoon of liquid glucose, or you could use golden syrup here, and just stir that through. And that is me done. And I think you'll agree that mine is gonna look the best because I don't even need to say why. Just take a look, guys. Anyway, I think the others have finished all of theirs, so it is finally time to fill and decorate and put this truly to the test. Do you know what? This wasn't even a competition, but Dane has like turned it into one, so I'm going for it. I'm gonna win. Okay, it's time.
Oh, hi.
Hi. This looks exciting.
Yeah, well, my caramel's just about ready, so I'm going to turn it off. It's looking lovely. But first of all, I got to get my filling in the donut. So I have my delicious salted caramel creme pat in a piping bag. And I've already poked holes in my donut using a chopstick because that's the easiest thing to use. So let me show you how you do it. So you whack your piping bag right in the hole. Hang on, get in there. Right in the hole. Get it right in and squeeze and feel it with your finger and thumb at either side and it'll start to plump up. Woohoo! And I reckon that's enough. Now I don't want to have it really coming out the top because I'm also going to have to dip it in this caramel to get my brulee top. So first of all, safety notice, guys, caramel is ridiculously hot. If you want to play it super safe, use heat-proof gloves to do this. I am in the danger zone. I'm also just going to take this off so it doesn't drop in my caramel. Terrible. I'm going to be using my fingers. Just be really, really careful. Obviously, don't put your fingers in the caramel. And what you want to do is just pop him in. Give him a little wiggle around. Bit of a drip. And then straight onto a little board here.
Wow.
And that will firm up and go all crunchy, just as if I had bruleed it with my trusty blowtorch, which I just couldn't do this time because of all the fire.
Fire hazard when you were doing it. It looks a little bit like a giant profiterole.
Oh, it does.
Croque bouche type thing.
Does.
Yeah, but with the little bit of custard coming out the front. Oh,
Look
look
at
at the
that.
little bit of custard. When you're doing this, if you want to keep your caramel on a really low heat every now and then, just to stop it from firming up, then by all means do that. Guys, you're up next.
I'm up next.
You're going next.
Okay, so I've got my passion fruit sugar that I made earlier, just castor sugar and the passion fruit powder, and I'm just gonna dunk these in before filling them because this is the messy part.
A sugary donut.
Sugary donut,
love it.
can't beat it. Now I have to find the hole that I made. There it is. Let's keep where that is. And I'll just do the same as Jemma, but I've put a piping bag full of the curd, piping bag full of the milk chocolate creme diplomat, and then I've put those 2 piping bags in a piping bag so I can get the dual filling out nice and easily.
Not content with the competition on the donuts, you're also the competition for the most piping bags used in one video. You win.
I win.
Well done.
So let's pop this in. There we go. And squeeze. It's a coming. It's a coming. And you can feel them more than you think. I feel it's getting heavier and plumper. And
Oh, that looks so good!
So, the last bit is a little bit of chocolate bark. And we'll just pop that in like that.
That looks so cool.
Oh, that
How
looks
cool is that?
very fancy.
There we go.
Looks like he bought it in a shop.
It's like it's a professional, isn't it? Okay, well mine's a little bit simpler, but better. Right, I've got my lime curd, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Pop it in, and this. I just find this very fun. Ooh, oh, it just feels so good. Oh, look at that. Now I might have to do what Jemma did and actually just remove a little bit. You didn't see that, people. Now we're going to dunk it in our glaze. So similar to how Jemma just dunked her sugar. I'm keeping my whisk handy because you might want to give it a little stir every now and again. Dip it. Let it wiggle off. Twist it. And then I've got some more dried hibiscus flowers here. I'm just going to put it on top of that little bit there.
Looks so cool.
Cute, right?
So
Colours are
pretty.
I know, I love it, and I love that it's all actually oozing out of the hole right now. Yours is
I was
too.
worried at first,
That's
but naturally.
so cute. And I'm glad you can see the curd and the pink as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice colour combo.
Well, I'm going to carry on
Let's keep
filling
going.
and dipping because caramel waits for no man, as you've probably experienced before.
I'm clearly the messiest one, like I've already got.
I've got sugar all over my hands, so.
Oh, have I won something for the first time
You've
ever?
won,
The
I think,
neatest, cleanest
yeah.
worktop. Sweet.
Who'd have
I
thunk
literally
it?
never. Well, hello. I'm not going to lie, but I think mine look the best in this sunlight right now.
They look pretty awesome.
They do look super duper, super shiny and delicious.
So beautiful.
But they all look amazing.
They
They're so
do.
different as well.
Yeah, it just goes to show how versatile donuts can be.
Just like a
these are all
cupcake.
complete. Yeah, just like, but maybe a slightly more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in Dane's case. I can't wait to eat these, but I kind of want to eat.
I want to eat not mine.
Yeah, I've already had
I
loads
know
of
that mine tastes amazing. So
I want to eat yours.
I want to eat yours.
Oh, that works because I want to eat yours.
Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
Gimme.
Right. You can have this
Okay,
one.
thank you.
Oh,
Ooh! Oh my gosh, that is gonna be full.
I gave you a weighty one.
Look at
Right.
that. Listen to this. Wait.
Hello.
Delicious.
Come in. Right.
Ready?
Right.
Okay, here we go. Where's it bite into?
I don't quite know.
Wow,
Mmm.
that's amazing.
Yummy.
Got all that curd
Sally, you haven't lost a tooth, have you?
and that glaze. It's still really shiny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Dane, this passionfruit curd.
You like it?
I do like it. I do, and the sugar as well.
Yeah, it's a little tangy, right?
Yeah.
I love the freshness of this curd because the lime is so zingy. And it just balances out nicely with them. The hibiscus, it's kind of like flowery and a bit fruity, like berry-like
Yeah.
almost.
And this,
Delicious.
I mean, this is kind of like the classic custard donut taken to like the next level because the salted caramel is beautiful, and then this caramel is almost like a little bit bitter, but in like a good way because it totally balances out the sweetness. Oh man.
This is so good. Well, there's obviously a lot to ponder after watching this recipe. Don't forget you can get all of these recipes in fully downloadable PDF versions over on our Bake Club on Patreon, so check that out.
Yes, and there's also loads of other fun stuff there. If that's not enough to get you there, there's also like behind the scenes actions. We did like an Ask Me Anything. We're working on a bake along, which is super exciting. And of course, we're doing the studio up as we speak, which you guys will see soon. But if you're Bake Club, sneaky peek.
Yes, and don't forget to tag us in all of your pictures on Instagram. We want to see all of your bakes, and especially these donuts. So use the hashtag CupcakeJemma and @CupcakeJemma and @crumbsanddoilies, because we love to see them.
And at each of us, at Sally Dell, at Dane Pemberton, at Mini Cupcake Diaries, just at everyone. Why not?
Share the love, guys.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us. Sally's going to be back next week with a really classic recipe for tea cake.
Yes, delicious little marshmallowy, chocolatey, biscuity things. Don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe, because then you won't miss it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Crunch.
Else's, because I know what mine tastes like and I know it tastes amazing. So
I want Dane's.
And I want Sally's.
Okay,
good.
Well,
that worked out.
Okay. Go on then, give us
Pick
one.
me your favourite.
Ooh.
Here you go, Sally. You can have this big chubby one.
This one.
Okay, you can have this one.
Oh no! It's okay, we've got spare.
Thank goodness I'm wearing my kitchen shoes.
You can have this one instead. I'm
You
sorry.
don't want me to have this one?